Okay, so we're going to do like a mid-season review, and I have the president of the SHL, John Schachnovsky, here with us. Welcome, John.
Don, thanks for having me. With on the current circumstances now, it's a little rough for the SHL, but thanks for having me.
Okay, you said the things are a bit rough right now. Why don't you go ahead and explain to everybody kind of what's going on here in Thailand for that?
Right now, well, those of you who are looking to watch hockey, you're probably watching the NHL last couple of days. But if you're missing SHL hockey, we've been off now for a couple of weeks now. Currently in Thailand, the government has shut down multiple businesses. Restaurants are closing at 9 o'clock at night, and no alcohol sales, and gyms are closed, and schools are off. SHL is part of that group. Ice rinks are closed for a couple of weeks now. We've had sort of, I guess you call it, a second wave here. Thailand has done a great job since the start of coronavirus about a year ago, but recently we've had an uptick in cases. So ice rinks are closed. That includes the SHL. So we are off for now. We're hoping to go back soon. The numbers have kind of stabilized the last few days, and news we're hearing is that maybe February timeframe we'll be able to get back out on the ice. That's what we're hoping for.
Okay, good. That's what I'm hoping for too. I've kind of missed doing the news for you guys.
We've missed you as well, Don.
So, looking at the season so far, you are currently on a team that in past seasons has done, well, maybe not last season, but the season before that was arguably the best team in the league. Last season they were about midway, and now
Not.
not.
No, not. Yes. Look, when you have a draft league, we've been really lucky. The SHL has had a really 4 or 5 seasons now. We've been real lucky every year. We've had very competitive hockey. We've had, but in the past, the Aware squad was as dominant as this year's Novotel team is, and everyone knows what happened that year. Aware did not win the championship.
Nope.
So there's no guarantee. Every team goes to the playoffs. Those of you who watch this and follow the SHL know that Novotel is the class of the league this year. They had a real good draft. Mike Friesen, Thomas Stosny, the rookie of the year candidate right now coming in. Obviously a little older to be rookie of the year, but the new player of the year kind of. Ken Kinborn is the leading scorer in the league. So they're a real quality team. You look at the stats, the top 4 players now on the stats are Novotel. It's been a rough start to the Aware season. For me, as you know, I got to wear 2 hats. I wear the president hat and I wear the Aware hat. And those of you who know me know I'm a very competitive person and I hate to lose. Let me put on my president hat first. With what's going on in the world with coronavirus and the Ramen 9 rink Central Ramen 9 rink closing down, us moving over to Samrong, if you would have asked me when this first hit, I would have thought we were not going to have a season this year. Mm-hmm. So first, let me begin by saying I am ecstatic that we have a season going on now. I appreciate what Samrong did getting us in there. The captains have been great. All the players have been great. We've had a few hiccups on multiple things. I can't list the hiccups we've had. And everybody from player to fan to ref to you and your group who does the in-game entertainment and the in-game announcements, to the broadcasters, Keith and his crew, everybody has been great about getting the SHL product on the ice, taking the current situation out. Mm-hmm. We're 8 games into the season, and I couldn't be happier with how we're looking. We're sad Ramen 9 closed. We're ecstatic how Samrong works. A lot of players and fans think Samrong's a better facility, larger rink. Ice is usually better sometimes. It's been real good. So, as the president, I really am happy with how things are working.
Okay.
Now, part of the presidency and as an Aware member, you don't want to see one team being 7-1, one team being 1-7.
Right.
Not the first time it's happened.
No. I think in the past, one year that team that was 1-7 came back and won it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had a few personnel changes here and there, but a couple players. Jan came in, a good young player for KCG, and a goalie change at Aware. So a few things have changed. I do say, as an Aware player, also, a lot of our games have been close. A lot of our games have ended the last couple of minutes, have been close. Mm-hmm. We've had leads. I do believe, as glasses half full kind of guy, I don't believe the standings dictate the situation. I think that if you ask the Novotel players how many games have they won the last minute or 2 of the game, it's been a couple, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, quite a few in the last second.
So I think that the standings do not give a good showing of how the league is gone. Now, that being said, Novotel's great. I mean, they have some great players, and I think that if you're looking for a prognostication, you'd say they're probably looking to be the favorite going into what we hope to be the second half of the season. I think the Aware squad has a good group of players, and I think we're going to gel. I think all the teams are pretty competitive. I'm hoping and crossing my fingers as the president and as a player that Aware gets a few more W's before the playoff starts. But I'm real happy with. I have to say that the number one requirement for me is we're on the ice, we have a good product, and once this hopefully the second wave slows down, we get back on the ice again.
And speaking as the president of the SHL, this year you had the most ties sign up for the draft than you've had in previous years.
Couldn't be happy about that. I mean, Johanni, the coach of the Thai national team, he gets full marks, full credit. He's been really, really good. Myself and Christian Olofsson and Scott Murray, the kind of the executive committee for the league, and Johanni, who now came on board as being part of the committee, he really was. If it wasn't for Johanni, we're not playing at Sam Rong. If it wasn't for Johanni, the ties aren't in the league. So Johanni deserves really full marks for the way he coaches the team in general and how he's helped the SHL as well. So, yes, we've had a lot of ties, and as you watch every game, the young ties, the Rogers and the Majors and the young players are really stepping up, and they're leaders. They're leaders in the points. They're on the first line, and they're playing real well.
Yeah, and one thing that we did, or that you, not we, because I wasn't a part of that decision, your elite committee, you decided to do the draft differently this year as well.
We did. We decided this year there's so many ties that we decided to do a couple of rounds of foreign players, Western players, and then a couple of rounds of Thai nationals. So, with that, for our reasoning behind that was at the top end of both foreigners and Thais, you had a lot of high-end talent.
Yep.
And you wanted to kind of be able to spread both those out. We really wanted to have a lot of Thai players and a lot of foreign players on every team. And we thought that was the best way to move forward. And that was in consultation with Johanni, that discussion. And actually, Ken Kinborn, the captain of the Thai national team, we sat down with him because he is kind of a player leader of the national team and coaches here as well. So it was kind of a group discussion. And we decided that we had kind of the best way to go forward, and I think it's worked out real well. And every team's has multiple Thai national team players, multiple top and foreign talent as well. So, what we'll do next year, I don't know, but I think so far it's worked out this year pretty well.
Well, from my perspective as a fan and a spectator, I think it's nice to see, because when the SHL started, it was known as the Foreigner League. And now it's more of a mixed league, and nobody's not really. I don't hear, the SHL, that's the foreign league. It's the SHL. You know what I mean? Which, for me, that's a good thing to hear. So
I mean, you look at the top 10 point scorers in the league right now. I think 5 are Thais or half Thai. I mean, I think you look at, you got Ken, you got Mancorn, you got Patrick, you got Jan, and you have Roger. That's 5 of the top 10 players. Look at even number 11 is a Thai player. So, you're looking at, 6 of the top 11 scorers are Thais. And that is something, as you said, the first season, that would only be a dream of ours to have that many Thai players come play in the SHL. So it's great. Look, it's good for us. But honestly, you ask any foreigner who's here, we are, I'm an American. I cheer for the U.S. team. But after that, I want the Thai national team to do well. So I'm excited and I'm happy because I want to see the Thai national team win the SEA Games every year, and I want them to go to the next round of Olympic qualifying. And I believe, selfishly, that the SHL is the most competitive league in the country. So these guys playing and succeeding will only help them in the Thai national team in the future.
I'd agree with that. So in our first 8 games of the season, as the president, what are some of the most surprising things that you've seen?
As far as surprising, I think that Leo is still the class of the league when it comes to goaltending. He has the best goals against average and the best save percentage. But Ben, I think the young guy Ben stepping up and really he's phenomenal. I mean, he is
a guy from my home state.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He is somebody who, those of you who weren't privy to the draft, he wasn't the number 2 or 3 goalie draft.
No,
I think for me, he's the biggest surprise. I mean, Novotel has phenomenal high-end talent when it comes to goal scoring and defense, but I don't believe they are 7-1 without Ben. So my number one impression is the quality of the play of Ben, and I think that everybody knew when they saw the draft, they knew that Novotel would be there. So that's not a surprise, but maybe the fact that the top 4 scorers are all from there, and that's also a surprise for me. I think that the new guy Jan Isaacson is quickly becoming a class player in the league,
Yep,
and I
I'd
think he's
agree
very
with that.
well liked, and I think he's also a good player. Number one surprise for me is how well it's working. I'm not a negative person, but like I said, you told me when Ramen 9 closed down, we were really hanging by a thread, and I think the fact that not only were you able to seamlessly move your product, your on ice, off ice, player of the game, your SHL of the show of the week, the weekly show you do, all that moved over beautifully. The way Keith and his crew was able to go back and continue to do live games, the referees, we Jeremy kind of stepped down for me, and the head referee has stepped in. He's done an amazing job. I think that I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Not trying to be negative, but something with the COVID nowadays, I was waiting for. And the fact that taking this second wave, excuse me, out of the way, our first 8 games were just great. And all the players were happy. Everyone's happy. We have good fan support, even though it's way out at Samron compared to Ramen 9. I think for me, the surprise is that we were able to do this.
What it's done is more people are now watching the games on live streamed and also later, which is something that's helped us a lot as well.
Yeah, so I guess those would be kind of the positive surprises. I don't have many negatives. I mean, look, as an aware player, as a president, being 1-7, I can't sit here and say I'm happy being 1-7. I think I can probably pick out all the times I missed the shot or I didn't get a shot off. As a player, I still want to do better there, but I'm really, and look, the fact that Siam Mandalay and Aware and Novotel and KCG all hopped on as sponsors, and we have more sponsors now than we had last season. I mean, that's the best part about it. I mean, Rolling Stone Pizza still
we get more and more every season.
So those are the surprises. The success is always for me, and Johnny Oduya is obviously continuing to sponsor the scholarship player Roger this year, and his sponsoring the trophies, and just everything. The fact that everybody is still, there's been a lot of people stepping back from sponsorship and spending money with the COVID, and we haven't seen that. So I'm in awe, and I'm honored, and I'm happy to be part of the league still, and to see people still just loving the league, which I love a lot too. So it's great.
What would you say is your biggest disappointment so far this season?
Other than being 1-7.
Other than being 1-7.
Look, Samrong's great. There's no question Ramen 9. I'm still sad. I wish Ramen 9 took a hiatus and was able to. And Pugh's a great guy, the manager, and I know they've had problems. My disappointment is I really, really wish that we had an opportunity to go back. Now, there are rumors about new rinks being built, and I'm hearing more and more positive things. I just think that hockey in Thailand will grow with more ice rinks. So my disappointment is that I haven't heard enough about the growth of new rinks and where we're gonna and where people. That's probably it. I mean, as far as the SHL, I don't want to point. I don't want to. I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed. Maybe now we're shut down again. We were rolling. We were rolling 8 games into the season, so I'm disappointed. This is the world as it is now. This is a first world problem that our little SHL had to shut down. So I'm not going to complain because people lose their jobs. There's health. People are dying all over the world. So I do not want to think about a negative. I mean, obviously I wouldn't mind playing now. The fact that we're able to be up and running, the fact that we're on a small hiatus, the disappointment in this league right now, I can't point to anything. I mean, I'm disappointed Christian left. He's in Vietnam now. We miss our brother Christian over there now. So little things. I don't have any major disappointments now. I'm pretty happy with how things were when the league shut down or went on their hiatus now. Ask me again in 2 months if we're sitting here and we're not open yet.
Yeah.
That'll be a huge disappointment. But right now, hoping we're going to be open again in less than a month or a month from now, I'm really happy.
Okay, now before we end things, I've got kind of a personal question for you.
Sure.
And you can tell me that you don't want to discuss it, and sure. I'm very okay with that.
No problem. Yeah, I guess.
So
I'm nervous now. Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, looking at let's take the fact that you play for Aware off the table.
It's hard to do, but I'll do it for this time.
Yep.
Take that hat off. Yeah.
And as the president of the SHL, you have a decent goaltender who in 2 seasons has caused problems and stepped down. I'm not going to name any names because everybody knows who it is. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that going forward?
It's a good question. My opinion as the president of the league and as a person who's been on his team many, many times, I think we've given multiple opportunities for change. Mm-hmm. saw it for short periods of time, and then this season it came back. I will say, in my defense as somebody who is a disciplinarian, who's involved in all the decisions that are made, it was his decision.
Mm-hmm.
When it came down to it, it was his decision to stop playing. I don't blame him
Mm-hmm.
for the decision he made, what was going on, and situations that were happening. He's not banned from playing ever again. Absolutely not. I think
that was the biggest thing.
I don't believe in. I mean, obviously, if somebody walks in, gets in a massive fight, or there's things that people should be banned for. I don't believe he's banned forever.
Okay.
I do believe we can sit down and talk. First season or so, there was a situation that happened before where he stepped down away from the league.
That was during the second season.
And we sat down. We sat down like adults, and we had a discussion. He came back. I like him. I mean, he's somebody I like talking to.
Mm-hmm.
I consider him a friend off the ice. He's very competitive, which I am as well. I feel his pain many, many times. I will not sit here as the president of the league and tell you that he is banned from playing SHL ever again. I do believe there will have to be a sit down, a discussion, and I do see a space for him in this league again. I do. I don't see that. I do. I hope he can come back and play. I hope he wants to play. I hope he wants to. I think the last time this happened, a cooling off time for him and us was great. And maybe that'll happen again now, but I am always trying to be glasses half full when it comes to players. This is not the NHL. Mm-hmm. This is an amateur league in Thailand. We like to say it's competitive. We have a draft. Not everyone can play, but I do not believe that what's happened so far till whatever day this is, January 2021, nothing has happened that should tell anybody that he should never play again.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's kind of what I was hoping to hear. So yes, I mean, I'm friends with him as well, and seeing his pain after the games, it's kind of like you really feel for him, but also at the same time, a lot of it was self-imposed.
Yes.
So.
And I hope if you had him sitting here, I'm not sure he would. We don't know him. I hope he'd agree to a certain point that some of the things are on him. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of people in the world. There's lots of attitudes. There's lots of different personalities. He has a strong one. Many people do. Mm-hmm. I would say I have a strong one sometimes as well. So I would love to sit down with him and figure out a way back for him next season.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. We'll see you on the ice.
Thank you, Don.
The opposite was very strong. I was good.
Siam Hockey League news is brought to you by Big Chili Magazine, the best read expat lifestyle and news magazine in Thailand. It covers interesting issues in Bangkok and the region while bringing its readers engaging stories and various exclusive interviews, food reviews, and more. You can find the Big Chili Magazine in bookstores and online at thebigchili.com. The music for the opening and ending credits are brought to you by DJ Caucasian.